Just initiating. See it later. Right?
So it's cool in here. I'm sniffling.
I love it.
I like it too, but
I don't think there'll be an issue.
hot,
but
cold, hot, cold. This.
Oh, yeah, that's
This
nice.
is your item, guys. And we're shepherding it through. Yeah,
What else is
my
new?
pretend script I can run through.
Hi, good morning.
My first notebook all done.
So that's from when you started
Yeah.
to now. You filled it
I
completely
filled
up.
it completely.
How many pages is it?
Oh God, I don't know, maybe 100.
180?
Yeah.
I think on the cover, 80 sheets, but that's 160.
That ain't happening.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
You got to. I don't know. You're done.
All right, good morning. I'm going to call the
Crazy.
Palm Beach County Planning Commission for today to order. Precious, can we have a roll call, please?
Next to Richard. Cara Erin Ferris. Varissa Laudas. Rafael Clemente. Richard Dunn. Rosie Matos. Brian Stenberg.
Present.
Glenn Groman. Rick Stopik. Stephen Basor. Ankor Patel.
Here.
Serge DeHady.
Present.
John Carr.
Here.
We have quorum.
All right, thank you. If we could please stand for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America.
All right, do we have proof of publication?
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay, great, thank you. Are there any postponements on the agenda?
No, sir.
All right. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
And Rick, second. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, did we have, can we get a motion for approval of the minutes, please?
I move to approve the minutes.
All right, thank you. Do we have a second?
Second. Richard Dunn.
Richard Dunn, got it, all right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion passes unanimously. Okay, 2A, I believe we do have one card, correct? Public's non-agenda item?
Yeah, we do. Just one card. Mr. Jim Knight, you'd like to step up to the podium of your choice. Over here, one's the numbers there. Sure.
Whichever one works.
Good morning and happy Friday to everybody. Hope you're all having
Morning.
a great day. Another beautiful day in South Florida, right? If you don't mind, I'll wait just a minute for a handout to you all that's coming up. I think it'll be helpful and some history and so forth. My name is Jim Knight. My address is 740 Havana Drive, Boca Raton, Florida. I'm a native of Palm Beach County, born and raised. Blessed to be here all these years. Hopefully have 20 or more left after me, still to go, I should say.
Thank you.
I also used to sit on the Planning Commission board and volunteered on LDRAB and so forth for quite a few years here in Palm Beach County. And I've had the pleasure to work with what I believe is the greatest staff in any of the municipalities where I've served and so forth, and here in the county. And the thing I wanted to briefly speak about is the one page that was just handed out to you all, which is called a snapshot on the Ag Reserve. And so going back in time, when the Ag Reserve was originally established and then the bond issue and everything else, there's some very important information. The staff's put together an incredible report that they'll be presenting to the County Commission here on Tuesday, 5/13. And I think a lot of people maybe don't understand the whole history of the Ag Reserve and so forth. I actually learned to drive at 13 years old in Horseshoe Acres, which was one of the few communities that existed back then in the what's known as the Agricultural Reserve area today. The thing that I just wanted to point out to everybody is that it has been a huge success. If you look at this sheet here, you'll see that there's 13,374 acres that have been preserved in the Ag Reserve. That's 61% of the land that's been preserved out there in the Ag Reserve of the 22,150 acres that are part of the Ag Reserve. And it also shows you the parcels that are left out there and so forth. And so I just wanted to say that staff has done a phenomenal job putting this information together, working with the Ag Reserve, and just wanted to make sure everybody understood that the success that has happened out there, which was a joint effort with private developers, the county, the bond issue, and the public as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, any other public agenda? I don't believe so. The only comment from me, I want to welcome new Commissioner Stephen Bassour. Welcome. We'll have some time for you at the end to tell us a little bit about you and all that good stuff. All right, moving on. We have our public hearing for round 25B. Farm workers housing. Is staff going to present?
Yes, our senior planner, Bryce Van Horn, will give you a presentation.
Thank you.
Good morning, Bryce Van Horn with the Planning Division. So this proposed comprehensive plan amendment before you today is the farm worker revisions, farm worker housing revisions. This is a county-initiated proposed text amendment to revise several elements in the comprehensive plan in order to allow for additional opportunities for farm worker housing in the Glades tier. So just a brief background of why this amendment is before you today, and there's of course a far more detailed background and chronology in the report, but in summary, in May of 2023, the Board of County Commissioners initiated amendments to the county's Unified Land Development Code, or ULDC, directing zoning staff to bring back amendments to the code to allow for the expansion of farm worker housing opportunities specifically for the Glades region only. So further, in August of 2024, after staff review of comprehensive plan policies, planning staff requested and the Board of County Commissioners initiated comprehensive plan text amendments to facilitate the expansion of farm worker housing opportunities concurrent with the ULDC amendments. So these text amendments were needed due to limitations that were adopted in the plan in the late 90s. First, farm worker housing required a minimum site acreage of 25 acres. Second, farm worker housing defined only as farm worker quarters in the plan is only allowed on the site of an accessory to bona fide agriculture. So there's no off-site provision. And third, the plan only permitted farm worker housing in the agricultural production, or AP, special agriculture, or SA, and the agricultural reserve, or AGR future land use designations. So this proposed text amendment was initiated for the Glades area, or what is referred to as the Glades region, or as adopted in our comprehensive plan, it's the Glades tier, which you can see on the map here on the left. This map shows the Glades tier and the red boundary. Hopefully you can see that. Generally west of 20 Mile Bend, out to Lake Okeechobee and to the county's northern, western, and southern boundary. So when we're talking about the tier, That includes both the Glades Rural Service Area, or RSA, and the Glades Urban Suburban tier. So that's the smaller red boundary near the lake, generally around the cities. You see the cities in gray, Pahokee to the north, Belglade, and South Bay. So, and as you can see from the table on the right, which is unincorporated land area in the tier by future land use designation, there's over 830,000 acres in the tier. Much of it has conservation future land use designation. That's the dark green area. It's over 340,000 acres. There's about 413 acres of park designation and 274 acres with transportation and utilities. And you'll later on in the presentation you'll see why I mentioned those. But outside the Glades urban suburban area, there's over 471,000 acres of agricultural production, or AP, designated land where currently farm worker housing is allowed. And then within the urban suburban tier of the Glades tier, there's 24,000 acres of land designated with other future land use designations. You see that list right there: HR8, MR5, the commercial high, the industrial. So this amendment proposes to amend 3 elements in the comprehensive plan in order to implement the BCC's May 2023 direction to expand farm worker housing opportunities in the Glades region, and will facilitate the provision of farm worker housing concurrent with the initiated ULDC amendments. So first, the proposed amendment would revise 2 policies in the housing element. Policies 14C and 14D, you see them in your exhibits. First, to relocate and consolidate text related to farm worker housing into a single policy and delete the land use designations that farm worker housing is limited to. So that would be the AP and the SA. There's actually no SA in the Glades tier. But second, to relocate language related to general special needs housing into single policy, and then to at the same time retain the 25-acre requirement only for the ag reserve future land use. The ag, of course, AGR is not in the Glades tier and has a whole different set of requirements with respect to density and other criteria. So this amendment was directed for the Glades region only. So this amendment is also proposed to revise the introduction and administration element to add a definition for farm worker housing. Currently, the INA has a definition for farm worker quarters and further defines the use as one or more residential structures located on the site of a bona fide agricultural use and occupied year-round by farm worker quarters employed by the owner of the farm. Additionally, a definition is needed for to establish farm worker housing as a new use allowed off-site from bona fide agricultural land while retaining at the same time farm worker quarters as an existing accessory option. So the proposed amendment will also revise the future land use element to expand allowable future land use designations for farm worker housing under the Glades tier objective. Currently, farm worker housing is to allow farm worker housing in conjunction with bona fide agriculture off-site as a principal use to, again, retain the use as allowed accessory on bona fide agricultural land. Again, establishing the use as a principal use on land that is not bona fide agriculture, subject to criteria as further regulated in the ULDC. And then providing that the use is allowed in the tier in any future land use with the exception of conservation, transportation and utilities, and park. And those were the acreages I showed you on the table previously. So really what this amendment is doing is removing the hurdles for the ULDC amendments that were initiated to move forward. The staff is recommending approval. If you have any questions.
Okay, thank you. No other presentations, correct? This is staff initiated. Any questions by the, sure, go ahead, Ankar.
Question for staff. When you're allowing accessory unit and you say or more, is the or more dependent on the size of the property, or it could be anything?
What specifically are you referring to?
So when you're doing the accessory dwelling unit definition, you said one or more. So when you say or more, is there a cap to it based on the size of the acreage, or because theoretically the person could own multiple farms and decide to do all the units on one piece of property? Structurally, I don't know how that would look, or if there's an issue. I mean, I'm for the farm workers amendment. I just don't know if you're putting a cap on how much they can do on one piece of land. That's my question.
Currently, those specific criteria, the or more, are regulated in the ULDC. So the definition that's in the comp plan right now is just defining what farm worker quarters are, allowing for one or more, but that or more is regulated in the ULDC, and I can't remember off the top of my head how many more are allowed. But currently, the biggest issue is that there's a minimum 25 acres that's required, and some of the farmers want to be able to provide for farm worker housing. Not necessarily they will provide them; it'll be a third party, but off-site. And many of the areas, they're not 25 acres.
I understand the purpose of what we're doing. What I'm trying to ask is what's that cap, or is there a cap?
Do you know what the cap is?
Jerome Otti with the zoning division. We're still finalizing not the density, but the number of farm workers allowed per acre. We're still finalizing that, but there will be some kind of cap. Right now we have in the ULDC for the farm worker quarters, we have 4 beds per 25 acres. So it's like one farm worker quarters may be allowed for each 25 acres, and that is being removed. So we're still trying to fine-tune what it will be when it's a principal use, when it's not on a farm, and try to find a multiplier based on possibly.
But that's a zoning issue, that's not an issue that comes here?
Yeah, that's a zoning issue, right?
Okay. So in our case, by just saying or more, we're fine and we let zoning take care of it?
Yeah, so we'll provide more regular.
There'll be a
more language on
tie
that.
between the off-site bonafide agriculture and where the site for the farm workers housing will be. There'll be some kind of connection.
And just to be clear, that definition, we're not changing the farm worker quarter definition. That definition is staying. There's a new definition that we're proposing to add to the definitions and the introduction.
I understand that too. You're just saying that each unit will have 4, whatever it is, but there's no cap on how many units you're putting.
Right.
That's the question I'm asking.
Yeah, they may not have 4. It may be like barrack style housing. Currently, that's not allowed, and there's some farm worker housing that's out there right now where they would like to expand it, but they can't expand it because our Unified Land Development Code doesn't even have that type of use anymore. This amendment to the comp plan will just remove the hurdle so the ULDC can move
Again,
forward.
I'm not questioning the intent. My
Yes.
question was simple as if there's a cap, because if somebody comes with a proposal to build 100 units, now that you're down to 0.5 acres or whatever that number is, you can't say no.
There may
all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, there may be a cap, but it will be regulated in the code, not the plan, because it likely it won't be based on a density or intensity.
So yes, there'll be some multiplier that
Right.
that will make sure that the scale will fit, and all the property development regulations will
Because it
align
is
with
ag
LDC.
reserve and ag at the end of the day. We don't want it to become
We're-
100 unit.
Yeah, we're not.
Go-
We're not
Glades
touching.
tier.
Yeah, the ag reserve still has the minimum 25 acres in there. So this is only in the Glades area, in the Glades tier.
Okay, great. Anything else? Raphael?
I support this, but I just have a question about verification that it is used for the intended purpose. I understand that's an enforcement issue, but just if there is a way that we know year over year that these units don't get converted to general residential or vacation rentals or something like that.
So that's in the realm of zoning, but there will be some kind of a special permit or some kind of monitoring that would not be so strenuous on the farmers or the industry. But yes, there'll be something that we all incorporated in the ULDC language for all the property development regulations, all the monitoring purposes. So
Great, thank you very
Right,
much.
and to further answer your question, there's provisions in the proposed amendments and the policies for the future land use element that deal exactly with your issue for conversion. So if the farm worker housing was to be used for housing other than for farm workers, the policy, which is kind of a framework policy for the code, would require that type of housing meet the comprehensive plan density requirements, like for any other type of housing. So conversion, to prevent that type of conversion unless it's consistent with the comp plan. So,
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner Vadas, any questions? Mr. Dunn?
Yes, I have a question. Will there be a requirement if a person wishes to build housing as it's proposed to them go through a zoning change application and process? Well, for example, will it be required to be either LR1 or LR3? Is that, I'm looking at table number 1 in the material that was distributed to us, which I think was similar to a table you had up earlier.
well, currently, the proposed text amendment would allow for farm worker housing in any of the future land use designations in the tier LR3, HR8, commercial, industrial, except with the exception of conservation, transportation and utilities, and park future land use designations. The requirement for that use type, farm worker housing use type, as a principal use, to be approved possibly by the Board of County Commissioners, that would go through zoning and.
That would be a Class A conditional use approval, and then we're looking to require a special permit that may be renewed annually, just to keep track of them and make sure that everything is in line with those farm worker housing. And then there was a question about if they were to convert into possibly like multifamily or something. We're also looking into regulations for discontinuation of use.
All right, any other questions?
Well, I'm not clear, but I gather then there will not be a zoning change to either, make sure I get the numbers right here.
Well, there won't be a future land use designation change because we're opening up that use to many potential future land use designations that's currently in the Glades area. So this board wouldn't see an application, but the zoning division would.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Stopik.
Thank you, Chair. Bryce, you touched on it, so I just had a question about the quality and style of the housing. You said nothing barrack style, but anything that's developed or built would have to be permanent structures? Are mobile homes permitted? Is it something on a temporary type of structure? Hookups to existing utilities if they have them, and so on and so forth, especially given, hurricanes and everything else. I'm assuming this, temporary structures would not be acceptable for this. It have to be permanent type structures that are being built. Can you give some clarity on any of that?
Well, that's going to be regulated in the code, not the proposed plan policies. So
So again,
Jerome could-
I think you mentioned that Bryce said there won't be barrack style, but there will be barrack style allowed. Right now, there are some farm worker housing in the Glacier that are barrack style, and we're also allowing it to be barrack style, different type of housing, dormitory style, manufactured homes, mobile homes. But all those will also be regulated by the health department. They're going to be required to get a permit from the health department and inspected annually, and we'll have our special permit, that is also renewed annually. So we're hoping everything will be captured, whatever proposed housing, but no temporary structures will be, allowed.
They'll be reviewed by the health department, all the other agencies for life safety as it
Yeah,
goes
I mean,
through.
obviously the concern is mobile homes, in South Florida, in hurricane season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that was it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Serge?
My question is regarding the revised policies. Just a definition. What is the special needs housing?
So I don't think I have the special needs housing definition from the INA, but I can.
Usually those are, senior living or like special housing for like the JARC or some of the other state-approved housing.
Okay.
So for, people with special needs, basically.
Okay. Thank you.
Brian? Make sure I get it right. Stephen, any questions?
No, thank you. I'm also on the Palm Beach County Ag Enhancement Council, and we've been kind of reviewing this as it's ag-related issues. So we just met the other day on it, so we've kind of vetted through it pretty thoroughly. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any further discussion? Any questions? Entertain a motion?
I'll do motion to approve as staff recommends.
I'll second.
Second.
We do have a second. Rick Stopik?
And then, just on discussion, I just want to make sure that zoning does address the issue of what they're planning to do with that cap. That's the only thing I would recommend, but that's just a discussion item.
Okay. Any further discussion?
I just want to say I did ask some of the farmers that I know that live out there if they support this, and they said yes, they're going to be cleaning up some of the area, and it's much needed. There's going to be some much needed repairs for the farm workers. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, if there's no further discussion, I'll call it the vote. Anyone, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, moving on to our regular agenda. Item A, round 26, county tax initiation.
Yes, this item, again, is county initiated, and our Deputy Director, Jeff Gagnon, is going to present.
Great.
Thank you, Tweed. Good morning, Board. Jeff Gagnon, Deputy Director of Planning. And I'm filling in for David Willock, who is the project manager for this item. So this is a county-initiated text amendment process, just for some of the new board members and just for everyone else's edification and information. The initiation step is really the first in the county's text amendment process. It's required for all text and map amendments and is needed for county proposed or privately proposed items. The purpose of initiation is to inform the board and the general public that work on the topic will be performed by staff, and it authorizes staff to proceed with that work. Overall, it helps to enhance transparency and increase the opportunity for public participation in the process. Importantly, initiation of an item does not equal board approval. So once staff receives guidance within the initiation, we would do a full staff analysis, prepare a staff report, and bring that back to the board for full consideration of the item. So the specific item is actually required by Florida Statutes 163. And this is associated with updating our water supply facilities work plan within 18 months following South Florida Water Management District's adoption of their Lower East Coast Water Supply Plan. So they proceeded with adoption of their plan on September 24th of last year, which means that we are obligated to proceed with our revision to the plan and adoption by March 24th of 2026. So we're well ahead of schedule at this point in time. In general, the purpose of the water supply plan is to develop strategies to meet future water demands while also considering the environment. Additionally, a critical part of the plan is to project population demand, as these numbers, in conjunction with user agreements, contribute to the total water demand needed in the future. Additionally, the plan evaluates water source options to meet these projected demands and is also developed based on the regional 10-year plan and is updated as required every 5 years. So staff is recommending initiation of this item, and the motion would be to initiate, and happy to answer any questions the board may have. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Any questions from commissioners? Pretty straightforward, that's right. Seeing no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
We'll move to initiate based on staff's recommendation.
Second.
Okay. Great. Any further discussion? If not, we'll call it the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. No.
No water for you.
All right, that passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay, now it is time for election of a new vice chair. Since our vice chair is no longer here, I know Rick really doesn't want to give up this compensation that he gets paid. For the record, this is a volunteer position. That's right. So I'll entertain any nominations for a vice chair of the commission. Go ahead, Rick.
At this time, I'd like to nominate, if they will accept the nomination, Verissa for vice chair.
I'll second that.
It's a huge honor. Thank you. I accept the nomination. If anyone else would like to do it too,
No, you can't. That doesn't work
Too
that
late. Too late. You're starting to sound like Encore last year.
You're lucky you're here, otherwise we nominate you when you're absent.
He tried to give it away. Rick wouldn't let him leave, so yeah, they locked the doors and everything on him. All right, so I have a second, an acceptance. We'll call that to vote. Any discussion, any questions for the nominee? All right, seeing none, we'll call it to vote. All those in, oh yes.
Is she bringing cookies?
Well, that's a requirement,
You
yes.
didn't bring cookies.
I am greatly honored.
Food is a
and
requirement.
I
You
will
didn't
bring
bring a
cookies.
You didn't even wear a jacket.
I will bring cookies.
All right.
I am honored.
Cookies it is. We'll remember that.
There you go.
I don't know. I like Precious,
There you
her snacks that she brings.
Yeah,
too,
but those are
so.
for 3-hour meetings.
All right. Seeing no other questions or discussion, call it to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right.
You lose.
Thank you so much. Welcome. I heard that we have a large, full agenda next month with like 17 items on it, so get ready. All right, updates and comments. So now's the time. We'll be more than happy to let Mr. Stephen Bassor introduce himself, and welcome to the commission.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. It's an honor to join the commission. I mentioned earlier I'm the chair of the Palm Beach County Ag Enhancement Council. The previous agenda item regarding the farm worker housing is one of those crossover topics, and there's been several in the past. So when I was made aware that the seat was opening up and asked if I would be interested, I definitely feel that this is an important committee that I can help represent my industry in my area by serving here, and also better serve the Ag Enhancement Council by having a better understanding of planning issues in the county. So anyhow, but I'm resident of Wellington. My wife, Krista, and I, we have 3 children, ages 14, 12, and 9, and we definitely love Palm Beach County. It's one of the best places I could imagine living and raising a family in. My family business, we're lettuce growers in the EAA, 4th generation family business. So I'm just very blessed to be able to be here in this area, work in a family business, and be part of the community. So anyways, look forward to learning and getting to know you all better. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Welcome. All right. We'll go right down the line here. Brian, any comments
Today?
All right. Serge?
None today, thank you.
Mr. Stopik, I know you're upset.
I'm good. I'm taking the clock with me, though.
Anchor.
Nothing. I was just checking on the record, but apparently you didn't beat it.
No, I did on purpose. I don't want to steal your thunder.
No, we're good.
Raphael.
No comments today.
Vice Chair, any comments? All right. Mr. Dunn.
Thank you. I have a question. I believe we have a workshop coming up on the 13th. Is that correct? Will we get an advance agenda, or, for example, I don't have the time nor the date. Now, maybe I missed an email, so it could be on me, but I haven't received that.
Yeah.
I received orally.
Yeah,
I think.
that's the Board of County Commissioners meeting. If you'd like, we can forward you the link to the materials and the package that's out online. We typically, don't really provide that, but if you'd like, we can do it for this particular. It's an item, workshop item on the Board of County Commissioner comprehensive plan meeting on May 13th.
So it's not actually a workshop, it's the BCC meeting with
It's an agenda,
agenda
yes.
item of a workshop. Okay. It's like I missed it.
Oh, so,
It's not a planning,
It's
it's for the BCC.
Right.
okay. I need to know a lot more about
No,
government here in Palm Beach County, and so I think we're going to have a conversation. Maybe I can learn something there. Thank you.
But we would definitely encourage you to watch, because there's going to be a pretty good presentation related to the history of the Ag Reserve, the policies that were established during the master plan, and then changes since then. So if you want a crash course in the Ag Reserve, it'll be a great day to watch.
Okay, thank you. All right, I think that's everything. Executive Director, do we have any?
Just welcome to Mr. Basor. We're really happy to have you and your representation for the ag industry on this board. Thank you.
All right, our attorney?
No comments.
Always like that. Planning Director?
No comment.
All right, the only comment I do have actually is Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Everybody have a great weekend, and I'll entertain motion to adjourn. All right, then we adjourn. Thank you.
Yep. All right, everybody.
What I didn't.